As you grew through WEI and got through, obviously the Patriots started getting good, you had a gentleman that a few people have heard of, Tom Brady, that you got to know and would join your show, I believe, every week during the football season.
Yeah, it's called Patriot Monday, and we had a contract with the New England Patriots, and we would get 3 players every Monday, or 3 people every Monday. Brady would be one every Monday. Belichick would be the other every Monday, and whoever the star of the game, not named Brady, would be the third guy. So we have a morning drive time show. Jerry and I would do 6 to 10.
Yep.
And then the midday show, which was Dale Arnold, generally 10 to 2. And then Ordway would be 2 to 6. And we got Brady the first year, and it was very easy to do. He was very forthcoming. He was fine. He was cordial. He would tell us, as much as Belichick would allow him, some inside stories. Dale would always get the player of the game, not named Brady. And poor Ordway was stuck with Belichick. and so as our success, Jerry and my success, ramped up, we knocked off Imus for being number 1. We knocked off Stern for a while for being number 1. When we went into contract negotiations, we had leverage. And one of the first things we requested, in fact, demanded, was before we sign our next 3 or 5 year contract, we wanted in the contract that we continue to get Brady every Patriot Monday for as long as he's on the team, only because we didn't want to have Belichick saying, yes, no, on to Cincinnati, we'll do what's best for the team. So that's how we ended up with Tom Brady for 20 years, every Monday during football season on our show.
That's so cool. And basically, and through that, obviously you get to know him a little bit, because I've been, I remember going to your house for the Super Bowl when he was on Tampa, and you had like text messages and emails back and forth or whatever between you two, which is really cool.
He is a rare bird. And somebody once told me that they knew he was special when he went to his first Pro Bowl in Hawaii very early in his career. And they're at Aloha Stadium at a practice. And the sponsors of the Pro Bowl, or the underwriters of the Pro Bowl, would bring the kids, the patients from Children's Hospital, to the final practice. And many of them were in wheelchairs, very ill, so on and so forth. But they would bring the kids from Children's Hospital in Hawaii to Aloha Stadium to watch the practice. And when practice was over, somebody who was there told me about 70% of the guys would make a beeline for the locker room and head to the pool or head to the bar and start partying and drinking and eating and having fun. And they had their families out there. About 30% would stop and sign autographs for the kids. But only one of all these Pro Bowl players got down on his knee in front of every single wheelchair kid to talk to them at their own level and ask them their name and sign the autograph. There weren't selfies in those days. They weren't taking pictures. But he made it a point not to stand over these kids and, say, hi, how are you? And hi, how are you? He got down on their level, shook their hand, talked to them, signed the autographs, and went down the line and was the last one to leave the field.
Amazing. No, I mean, I've always admired his play, but his personal character and the way he conducted himself. And one of the things that you had sent me a few years ago, I'm not sure the best way to tee this up for everyone listening and watching, but what's the backstory is you had a friend that was unfortunately suffering from ALS. And
right. I can set it up for you.
Yeah, you're much better off.
Ironically, his first name was Dennis. And he was a friend of mine from Massachusetts. And Dennis contracted ALS, which, as you know, is incurable. And Dennis was a huge Patriot fan. I think he had 12 season tickets. He and his buddies would go to every home game. I don't know if you ever saw the red, white, and blue school bus that used to park in the stadium.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That was his red, white, and blue school bus, and they would tailgate out of that. And for years and years and years, he was a 12 ticket season ticket holder, and just absolutely lived and breathed the Patriots. And his wife called me one day, after I'd known that he had been diagnosed and he was sort of going downhill. And I'd spoken to him, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks beforehand, that I knew it wasn't going well. And his wife called me and said, Dennis is in the final days, and I just thought I'd let you know. And I don't know what prompted me to do it, but I texted Tom and I told him the story that I just told you, who Dennis is, the school bus, 12 tickets, so on and so forth. And and he said, do you have his phone number? And I gave him his phone number, and that's the last I heard until a day or two later. Dennis's wife sent me a video that Tom had sent to Dennis And as important as that was for him to take the time to do that, and it was very heartwarming to encourage Dennis and say thank you for your support, so on and so forth. It was March 23rd, 2020, which was the day Tom flew into Tampa to take his first physical with the Bucs and to sign his first contract with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He did this from his hotel room in Tampa on the day he was doing all that. So it wasn't like, he was sitting at home, playing Scrabble with the kids. He was busy doing a lot of stuff. And he took the time to do this and sent it to Dennis. And his wife told me Dennis saw it and cried. And Dennis passed about 3 days later, but was so thrilled to have heard from Tom.
Yeah.
By the way, that's not usual. I mean, I know a lot of guys do things, but that is the exception, not the rule.